looks like it. There's definitely room for inflation to come down now, but it will depend on what the government is doing in the coming months, if they rein in spending and if they allow the central bank to do its job and keep monetary policy tight. They have to be very vigilant. If we see a rise in inflation in October, and that those data will be out next week, and then if they keep a tight stance, that should be able to bring inflation down.
And Per, the central bank, no doubt, is the key part of the equation here, but also we can't ignore the geopolitical risk factors. And it's been quite a week for President Erdogan of Turkey, a few weeks, I should say. And I dare say he kind of really put himself in the center of the global stage as a result of the situation in Saudi Arabia. But they also did have the release of Pastor Brunson. That signals improving ties with the U.S. How important is that from an investor standpoint?
It's very important. Any threat to dollar funding for Turkey is very dangerous. It will send the lira sharply lower if there's any threat to U.S. funding. And with the relations improving now, obviously the risk of a sudden stop for dollars or to the banks is lower. That's for sure.
But Per, do you think the policymakers in Turkey have really done enough already? You know, we saw a very big swing in the external trade account the other day. Do you think there's a need for a lot more policy squeeze on the domestic economy, or are we sort of past the worst of it now?
I think they need to rebuild the confidence in the central bank. That's a big job ahead, and so far Erdogan is not doing a very good job. He continues to criticize the central bank heavily, and that's a worrying sign for the future. They also need to consolidate public finances and bring all the off-budget spending onto the budget so they become more transparent. So there's a lot more work to be done. There may be the banking system could be in for trouble with loans as well, and the central bank, the government and the central bank need to assure investors that they will protect the banks from rising bad debt.
Per, what are your views of your expectations coming out of Russia over the central bank decision? Because, yes, they've had their fair share of inflation concerns as well, but we have seen some stabilization in the ruble of late.
Yeah, I have a strong conviction that they will leave rates on hold today. The rise in the ruble has given them some breathing space to leave rates on hold. Nevertheless, it's the central bank has taken a very orthodox approach, and inflation is going to go up. So there is a small chance that they would take a preemptive action, but at this stage, I don't think so, given the strengthening of the ruble. And I think they will wait for data to come in before they act later in the year or potentially early next year to hike rates.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.